It's the Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole studio in Bobcaygeon. I'm one of your hosts, Terry, and with me,
Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. Okay, that means we're going to start. Are you going to take it away?
And the living...
The 11?
And the living...
Tang-dungled. Okay.
And the legend lives on from the Chippewa down to the great lake they call Gitchigumi.
Yeah, an Aboriginal name.
That didn't sound like him
Gitchigumi.
at all. Sound more like a Dylan.
Yeah.
And the legend lives on, Chippewa down. I don't know why I can't say the legend.
Well,
I keep
the
saying
legend
the legend
lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchigumi. Lake Superior is Gitchigumi. So here we have 50 years. That's why we're celebrating this one. Not celebrating. That's a wrong. Commemorating maybe is a better word.
Commemorating's a better word, yeah.
It's a better word than celebration. Yeah, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I can still remember when that song first started to play on the radio in Canada. And I had an apartment, freshly married, so I'm thinking, I didn't get the date. Did you get the date of that when it went down? So anyway, my first familiarity.
When it went down's different from when he wrote the song.
Yeah, and it's strangely accurate as it's going on, but Gordon Lightfoot's probably is just one of his most famous songs because it eulogizes a tragedy, something that everybody feels a little bit of mystery with, which is a ship going down at sea.
And it's funny because, you know, from all of our Asian listeners and people over there, and, you know, we have lakes so big that actually, believe it or not, at sometimes in high storms, Lake Superior and those other, you know, Michigan, these lakes have more treacherous waters than the ocean because the ocean's weighed down with salt. And they sort of crest. They have these gigantic 100-foot waves, but they're rounded, and you can kind of ride over them. Where in the lakes, there's no salt to hold them down, so they chop more. So they're chop as they and they're way up there. I've seen waves that have been ridiculously high on Lake Ontario, one of the smaller of the Great Lakes. So if you're out there, it's like being in an ocean, only more dangerous.
So the largest vessel of its kind at the time, the Edmund Fitzgerald, with a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons or more.
Overloaded, by the way.
Overloaded. So was it lying too low in the water?
It was.
Now, what's the theory about, I think one of Lightfoot's lines is, at 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in.
Yeah.
And the cook said, something, fellas, it's been good to know you.
Yeah.
And then the wreck was found. And did they find the hatchways had broken?
I don't know. They probably, because I'm sure Gordon Lightfoot read up on it. He probably read a book and then decided to write the song.
We didn't find the wreckage till many years later. It was only a few years ago that.
Well, there's thousands of wreckages in the Great Lakes.
Yes,
thousands.
So lots of ships have gone down for various reasons, but the one that captured everybody's imagination, including Americans, was Gordon Lightfoot's line. It was the pride of the American side.
Yeah, and again, it's not the arrogance of the Americans. I'm not saying that, but arrogance of man, because the Titanic was the same. It can't be sunk. Right. It just can't be sunk, and it went down like lightning fast, like ridiculously fast for a ship that size. And that ship there, they overloaded it. They I don't know if they had rules at the time, but they overloaded it so it was too low in the water. And then when the storms came up, they just crushed it.
I watched a special on it to say that they suspect that there's sounds that ships make. You know, it's made out of steel ribs and double hulls, but the ship is so long and so heavy that you could walk down in the bowels of the ship and you could hear and see the flex and the bend, and steel is not supposed to flex.
Yeah, and if it is, you're probably on your way.
You're probably on your way, and that's when
they tried to make it to Canada, and they didn't. They sunk in Canadian waters.
Yes. Yeah, they tried to. You said they.
And there was Canada. Everybody jumped to try to save them, but again, it's treacherous waters.
You're sending out a rescue mission.
Yeah. So they did what they could. I guess everybody was lost. I don't think anybody survived it. Yeah, everybody was lost. And it's a legend, and Gordon Lightfoot sung it well.
Well, his theory at the time, and that's why I said they discovered the wreck, and so that with deep sea remote viewing drones, they found that the hatchways were still sealed and still intact. So that part of the song was based on speculation. Everybody was trying to figure out, how could this possibly happen? Well, that was one of the explanations. But it seems it broke its back, which means it did.
It just split in two.
And they found the stern part upside down, and the front part was right side up. And it's still sitting there at the bottom. But talk about
full of metal?
Yeah, well, a load of iron ore.
Well, rusted for sure.
For sure. But there you go, 50 years on, tragedy in the Canadian Great Lakes.
Now, this was going to be connected in some way. I think we were going to talk about Memorial Day here in Canada, which is Remembrance Day, which is it is more Memorial Day in the United States. That's it, where they celebrate it. It's not a sad thing. Up here, we just have it on the same day, but two different celebrations. One is a celebration, the other one is a remembrance of those who paid the ultimate price.
Well, their Memorial Day is to celebrate in May the ending of World War II, and Remembrance Day is for us to celebrate the Great War, the one that they're supposed to end all wars, World War I.
Yeah.
So for Canadians, we have Passchendaele, Ypres, and the Somme battles that are, I've been fascinated to watch YouTube. There's been some really great presentations on Canadian efforts in World War I and World War II.
Oh, yeah.
It's often said in Canadian history, and I used to teach this in the grade 10 class, that Canada became a nation through the shedding of blood in global conflicts. Nothing to do with us. We're farmers.
Yeah.
We're people here, pioneers.
We are great fighters. My dad was very proud. My dad, as you know, was overseas almost for the entire war, Second World War. And he was very proud of the Canadian fighters. And
he was infantry, wasn't he?
Matter of fact, I think it was the Iraq War or something where some Canadians were going. My dad cried, one of those wars. And I said, why, Dad? Why are you crying? He says, because I know that division, they're going to die. Some of them will die.
Yeah.
And he was right, because he knew that they were, you could rely on them. They're going to do the job that they're supposed to do, and some will not come back. And quite frankly, at this season and time of remembering those who have fallen, we also got to remember those who have enlisted.
Yes.
They're brave people, and they're the ones that are going to go into harm's way. Even as peacekeepers, they die. And they're the ones that are going to go in harm's way.
And that's been Canada's role post-World War II has been through the United Nations, wearing the blue helmet with the white letters, UN. And so many peacekeeping missions have tragedies associated with them. And I'm thinking of the Hotel Rwanda, if you remember that story. Yeah. It's awful what Canadians have tried to help out and endured and pay for with the ultimate sacrifice. For Canada, we're looking at forging a nation through the shedding of blood in global conflicts, World War I, World War II. And I have enjoyed going down some of the YouTube videos and recalling the major battles that, stuff I had studied, stuff that I had taught to high school students. But it always gets me that we're forged as a nation through battle, through adversity. And as Trump keeps talking about the 51st state stuff, my fear is that the next battle is going to be right on the home front.
Well, that's why I was glad today to hear when part of this budget is they're going to the military to increase our military to protect our sovereignty. And that's an important word for the young people, to protect our sovereignty, because usually we make stuff to go somewhere else to fight. We might have to fight here, as sad as that is. There was a story, I don't know if you sent it to me, about the Canadian tanks. They were called, something like Butterfly or something. They were really weird, and they weren't that good, but Canada made them and motivated them over, and they actually beat the crap in their battles. They were phenomenal fighting machines, and the men were fighting. And like a lot of the things, sometimes Canada did all the work and sat back, and then other countries marched in and got the glory. When it was Canada that battled its way through.
Well, what did Trump say about his? He wants to rename his celebrations. He wants them to be America won the war kind of things.
Yeah, right. That's
America's Victory Day, I think.
If anybody had the greatest pat on the back for winning the war, it probably would have been Russia.
For World War II.
Yeah. Probably would have been Russia.
World War I, they bailed partway through that one because they had a revolution.
Well, there you go.
Communist revolution. Jim and Terry Show, waxing eloquent. And remember, we are thankful for the service of our members, our service members.
Amen.
All right, bye-bye.